We got the media team in here.
We're the media team. We got content. TV's in the go. We got TV in the go, Wack.
You looking for that fire Clubhouse content? Well, you need to subscribe to the home. Hey, yo, Clubhouse TV. Let's get to the content.
That's a good one.
In the block.
They're not even going to let you sign no plea agreement without making sure you understand it. That's part of your plea agreement.
That's a fact.
When you sign a plea agreement, they're going to read it back to you and make sure you're not under any influence of drugs. Make sure you are of sane mind. Like, they're going to do all that, bro.
You was facing life, so how you not going to pay attention when you facing life and they going to give you 10 max? How you not going to pay attention, rat ass? We're going to get into it, though. What else y'all heard?
Fact.
Crazy part about it, Ghost and Prince, dude really said, no, none of that happened. Huh?
Oh, hold on real quick.
1 minute you crying about I don't understand it, next minute you want to kill me, the next minute it did happen.
Let me read you this YouTube comment real quick, Wack. There's somebody on YouTube. He said, what did he expose? We knew him. He was locked up with us for a while. We knew his case. It was on the news and on paperwork. We checked it. I wonder why he didn't talk about how the girl lied about her age. And he was the one who told her mama after he found out about the real age. We read it in the feds. He was there. Everybody knew what really happened. He was a solid dude. At first, we looked at him like we was about to get him. But when he showed the fact that he was the one that told the mom after he found out she lied, we let it go. Because he wasn't like that. Well-respected and a light guy. Get the out of here.
Here go the crazy part.
Talk to me.
He took the 14 and 17-year-old down there more than once.
Exactly.
It was back and forth over like a year, 2 year span.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 07, 09, 09, 11. So I don't know what paperwork they was reading, but the paperwork we reading says you continuously took a 14 and 17-year-old back and forth from Atlanta to Alabama to sell sex.
Commercial sex. Back and forth, multiple times.
And then slipped on the replay and said, you should stop paying the pimp and just do it yourself. So I guess you was providing a ride.
Hence the transportation charge.
There you go. It's in the paperwork.
They know what he signed, man.
So when did you go tell the mama? On the first trip or the 15th trip?
Probably the 14th, you know.
It's in there. It said between the years, it's 2 years, like a 2 year span. It transported them girls back and forth. Now this how you know, right? Because the other girl was 17 by the time they arrested him. So that means she was a little younger, and he probably added the 14-year-old to it en route. By the time they booked him, picked him up on the casino boat, one was 14, one was 17. And you was driving them from Atlanta to Alabama to distribute sex. Yeah, it's right there. So I don't know what type of yard he was on, but that's probably the difference between them real USPs and wherever he was at. Because they signed a cooperating agreement. They didn't see that either?
No, they missed that too. They missed that 5K one too. Uh-oh.
That's in there?
I don't know why else it would say 5K1. I can't see the letter. That's sealed. There's 2 sealed documents after that, but it definitely referenced the 5K1.
It says 5K1?
It says 5K1 is plea agreement.
There you go.
Yeah, they was probably on the yard with all them PDF files and all them rats.
Just want to make them random YouTube comments. Y'all better have them facts, boy. You about to get into it. Y'all ping up and share the room. You know how we get down.
They made that comment probably a PDF file or a rat. He one of them. He might be both.
If it ain't on a troll page.
Right.
Yeah. I sent the whole page 7, the whole cooperation agreement. I said, you missed this one too, huh? In the United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia, Atlanta Division, United States of America versus one Dmarcus Ward, aka Boss. The grand jury charges that count 1, sex trafficking of a minor. Criminal indictment number 1:10, TAC Charlie Romeo 058. Dated February 8, 2010. from on or about October 27, 2009, and continuing through on or about November 7, 2009, in the Northern District of Georgia and elsewhere, the defendant Dmarcus Ward, also known as Boss, did knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, and obtain by any means in and affecting interstate commerce a minor under the age of 18 years named AJ. Knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that AJ had not attained the age of 18 years old, trigger warning, and that means of force, fraud, and coercion would be used to cause AJ to engage in commercial sex acts in violation of 18 USC section 1591. Count 2, sex trafficking of a minor. In or about late September to early October 2009, in the Northern District of Georgia and elsewhere, the defendant Dmarcus Ward, also known as Boss, did knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, and obtain by any means in and affecting interstate commerce a minor under the age of 18 years, namely JF. Knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that JF had not attained the age of 18 years and that means of fraud and coercion would be used to cause JF to engage in a commercial sex act in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 1591. Any questions on what the charge with? Count 1 and count 2. Sex trafficking of a minor, 2 victims under 18. I thought we didn't have it because we don't do shit like this. Count 3. Transportation for prostitution. From on or about October 27, 2009, and continuing through on or about November 7, 2009, in the Northern District of Georgia and elsewhere, the defendant Dmarcus Ward, also known as Boss, knowingly did transport an individual named AJ in interstate commerce from Atlanta, Georgia, to Birmingham, Alabama, and then back to Atlanta with intent that such individual engage in prostitution and a sexual activity for which any person can be charged with a criminal offense. Count 4. In or about late September to early October 2009, in the Northern District of Georgia and elsewhere, the defendant Dmarcus Ward, also known as Boss, knowingly did transport an individual, namely JF, in interstate commerce from Atlanta, Georgia to Birmingham, Alabama, and back to Atlanta with intent that such individuals engage in prostitution and in sexual activity for whom any person can be charged with a criminal offense under the Uniform Code, Official Code of Georgia. Dmarcus Antoine Ward knowingly recruited two little girls under the age of 18. One was 17 and one was 14.
There you go.
You are facing life imprisonment for count 1, sex trafficking of a minor, and count 2, sex trafficking of a minor. Count 3 and count 4, transportation. We just did the Diddy trial. Carries a maximum of 10 years. That's what your deal was. Plead to count 4, maximum of 10. Life is off the table. What did you give up, Dmarcus Ward? Who did you give up? Oh, we're going to get into your cooperation agreement in a second. Once again, public knowledge. This reads like a murder mystery to us. Interesting. Once again, protect our women, protect our kids from bozos and weirdos like this.
Nigga was not on no GPR, bro.
Said he told stories and say he ain't no shorty was 18, and he talked to the mama and the what?
Prince, I sent it to J. Prince Jr. yesterday. He ignored my text.
Oh, word. Ignored your text. Wait. So he didn't want to know that somebody close to him is a whoppering for 15 plus years? Because all you had to do was hit his name in Google. It wasn't like it wasn't public.
Jay Prince knew about this shit.
Gotta know.
Yeah, I think he knew already. That's why he didn't reply.
It was on the whole sex offense registry. You see the PTR? This fake too? This fake too?
What that military shit, what that shit was, bro?
He probably was active duty during that time, or he was active reserve during that time.
So basically, he got two charges for. He got the federal charge and then the military will charge him separately. That's how that works.
That's how it could work.
Okay.
Because more than likely, he got court-martialed for this in the military too, or he at least got kicked out for it. Ain't no way they'll serve with these charges. Ain't no way.
Hey Prince, so
What up, Tita?
when I read what's up? So when I read the charges originally and I looked into it, basically it said that the only way that would show up on a conviction is if it's some very specific charges like transporting for prostitution, etc., or if it was processed under the USMJC.
It also could be that any crime that you do on the federal installation is technically fed. So if he was sex trafficking and selling to members of the service on base and he got caught,
Yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say. Any federal reservation, military base, or any federal grounds. It could be a federal official in a federal building somewhere. Any federal grounds will automatically fall under that.
Exactly. Or if he's, because usually what will happen is it's double jeopardy, right? The military doesn't process you twice, right? They can NJP you because NJP is not an actual judicial proceeding. So, for example, let's say I get a DUI in town and I get a felony conviction, X, Y, and Z, woo. When I come back from that felony conviction, the military can't then court-martial me for that felony conviction.
Where in Alabama was he taking them?
Let me see.
Gotta say it in. I know he was taking them from Atlanta to Alabama.
Wasn't it Birmingham? I thought I heard Birmingham.
I heard Birmingham as well. Give me one second.
Yeah, that's just like what, 3 hours or something?
Is there a base close to Birmingham or base in Birmingham?
Imagine your 14-year-old, your kids getting transported.
In Atlanta to Birmingham is like an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, that's it? About an hour and 30.
You know what? Here you guys go. This gets a little bit more detail. Give me 1 second, y'all. This is coming from the FBI archives. Yeah, go ahead and say that's a lie too. Dmarcus Ward, 25, of Minden, Louisiana, has been arrested and arraigned today by a United States magistrate judge. Ward faces federal charges of sex trafficking of minors and transporting his minor victims in interstate commerce for purposes of prostitution. Ward was indicted on the charges last week by a federal grand jury in Atlanta. Acting United States Attorney Sally Gates said of the case, "The troubling reality is that sex traffickers frequently target destitute young runaways who need food and housing. We are committed to aggressively prosecuting anyone who exploits children through sex trafficking." This is interesting. According to United States Attorney Yates, the charges and other information presented in court from late September 2000 through November 7, 2009, Ward allegedly transported 2 minors under the age of 18 to Birmingham and back to Atlanta on separate occasions, causing both juveniles to engage in prostitution in both cities. So back and forth in both cities.
What time to what time, Prince?
It says from September 2009 to November 7, 2009. So a 3-month period.
2 months.
2 months back and forth.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't no one trip.
And it says sex in both states. So they got him in Atlanta selling, and they got him in Birmingham selling back and forth.
Now, regarding the bases that you asked about in Birmingham, so they have a National Guard base, they have the Army Reserve, the ARSC, and then it says there's no big military base, but military presence is present. So nothing directly connected to the Army, Navy, aside from the ARSC.
Right, there's
a National Guard base. There's a National Guard base.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said. National Guard base definitely is
for sure.
Federal
Remember, National Guard is the
jurisdiction.
Army, right? So he could be in the Army National Guard for Alabama or Atlanta, X, Y, and Z, right? So that could be why. Once again, we can't confirm his military action or not. So that could be a reason why, though. What? He could be selling military base, or he could be active reserve.
Either he active or he was doing something on a base somewhere, bro.
For sure, yeah, it's only a possibility. Because everything on the base is fair. Even the traffic ticket is federal on base. So
no, but his charge says military.
for sure.
I'm looking at the charge, bro. Watch this.
And then another thing that gets me, Prince, is in the little details, like it says on the screenshot that you have up, it says leveling, it says not leveled. And then there was another screenshot that Wack put up with the offenses, and it had the classifications, and it had a triple Z classification.
Look at it,
And
it's right there in my PTR.
yeah, and then I looked up the triple Z PTR, and it says that it's a placeholder because because the paperwork either cannot is not allowed to show us the classification of the crime. That was specific wording that popped up when I looked up what ZZZ meant on a conviction paperwork, and then connected to the military where it says military. So I looked them up in conjunction to each other. So it just said that it's not allowed to show us the classifications. So I don't know if that means anything to you.
But Prince, look at the chart. Do you see what I'm saying? I ain't never seen that shit, bro. Like, military shit.
No, there is a military base, Anderson. That is in between Atlanta and Birmingham, right there.
Maybe we can chat GPT. What'll make it get that charge? What would, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I looked it up on ChatGPT earlier for you too. It said the registry list crime classification ZZZ. Here's what's going on. Most states have crime classifications like A, B, C, D felony levels, or 1, 2, 3 sex offender levels. ZZZ isn't an actual legal classification. It's usually a placeholder code in the database. Basically, the system does not have state level classifications for that particular conviction, so it spits out Z. And then it says another possibility is saying it's under foreign or other jurisdictions. It's a sex offense that doesn't translate into our state's categories.
So no, I'm talking about, Prince. You see where it says
right. Let me see.
To the right. I didn't see, bro. That's tying the military in there somehow.
Crime classification, right? I got you.
The right side. That where does it say?
The crime classification?
Yeah, it says federal military sex crime conviction.
It says federal military sex crime conviction.
All right, so he was in
federal
the military.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So was he actively in the military or?
Yeah.
That's what I think so.
So he was in the military. So when you're looking at his docket joint, Prince, if you go and look at his the case shit, it'll say deactivated, and then it's sealed. Then deactivated, sealed. That's them terminating him from a federal employee.
Oh, there it go.
There it go.
He was in the military.
So they probably picked up that case. It's the same thing. So that way it's the same punishment, but then he just got processed in that court.
How much time did he get?
I think 8 years, something like that. Let me go back and check that.
So he did 6 years of change.
That's why this registration date is what it is.
So why is this dude talking about he ain't do that? That sounded to me like he's in denial. They do it again.
I'm looking at somebody's records that I know was in the military that's a sex offender, so I can try to bounce that off real quick. Sad that I can know somebody like that, but it is what it is. This is weird.
Yeah.
We all know somebody that did some crazy shit.
You want to get into his cooperation agreement? Because that shit, I don't know what that nigga talking about.
So how did they catch him? How did they catch him? No details in there on that? Did one of the kids go tell?
Nah, it doesn't say anything in the indictment about that. We just read that.
We got all kind of paperwork back on this.
Yeah, let me see if there's anything through that. So according to United States Attorney Yates, the charges and other information presented in court, Ward pleaded guilty to transporting a victim in court documents only as JF. Remember, JF is the 14-year-old, not the 17-year-old, right? So Ward pled guilty to transporting a victim identified in court documents only as JF from Atlanta, Georgia to Birmingham, Alabama, and back again for the purpose of causing her to engage in prostitution. Ward took all the money earned by JF during the approximately 10 days that she was with them. During that 10-day period, JF was 17 years old. Sorry, I apologize, a 17-year-old. So AJ is a 14-year-old. JF was 17 years old, thus unable to consent to engage in prostitution. Ward posted photos of JF on an internet website advertising dates with JF, whom he had given the word name of Passion.
What the hell?
Ward gave JF a prepaid cell phone to stay in touch with him, paid for the hotel rooms, and provided her condoms to use. As part of his abusive behavior toward the victim, Ward ordered JF to call him boss and also had sexual relations with JF himself. So he could too, you nasty. You a PDF file. At today's sentencing hearing, the court also found in relevant conduct that Ward had transported another victim, a 14-year-old runaway identified in court documents only as AJ, for the purpose of prostitution. Ward met AJ on a toll-free chat line, and after a number of conversations coerced her into going to Alabama with them. Ward again posted advertisements on an internet website, and upon returning to Georgia with AJ, began to rent hotel and motel rooms for AJ in Tucker and Marietta for prostitution. AJ gave all the money she earned to Ward, who also ordered that AJ could not leave the motel room. Ward continued to closely watch AJ and left the room only when customers came to the hotel. Ward also had sexual relations with AJ. Ward also
AJ, the
had sexual
14-year-old?
with the 14-year-old.
Oh, this here.
So the 14 and the 12-year-old.
14 and the 17
Man and the 7-year-old.
But if you go back when I was grilling him, he denied all that shit. All right, keep it going.
Now, let me ask you a question. If they got evidence that he had sexual relations with a 14-year-old, sexual relations with a 17-year-old, transporting him across state lines, sex in both states, what the did he tell on to only get 10 years, facing life?
This actually got only 8.
Got 8, facing 10, got 8.
This is what I be telling, like, bro, if you know they're selling some pills over here, it's doing this, man, such and such, they can get the information that lead to it. You get what I'm saying? They give it to him, they'll go research it. G. Wayne to tell you how that shit work. He said that because he said, Wack, it be taking a minute for them people to go investigate what you giving them. They give it to them, go research it, and then they'll go ahead on and give you your credit. So, bro, you know, if you're doing wrong out there, there's always a chance of you getting caught. So if you wake up and then pulled you over, then bumped you up, or then you look up and they on your house, you know what you've been doing. You're not even thinking about who transport minors to Alabama, because that's ain't got nothing to do with you. That's why I tell whatever you doing, you better just do it with who you doing it with. They still might tell, but when others know what you're doing, they'll use you as a get out of jail free card any day.
This is what the United States Attorney said about him, Wack. He said, Mr. Ward preyed on these young girls and caused them to engage in prostitution. The entry of this guilty plea is a step forward in vindicating those victims with an S for the degrading acts he caused them to perform. He had sex with a 14.
And somebody, that's how you know in that chat was him. Because ain't nobody read this work and said he a cool.
Facts. Bet you any amount of money that Junior is the one that bought the round, bro. Junior is the big up in the family, bro. Like, I know Junior bought this round. This got Junior written all over it, bro. Because Junior got a history with doing little sneaky shit to women too.
Shit. Yeah, that's a fact.
So it looked like they only hit him with count 4. That's why he got the 10.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it because that's what he put out. That's the deal they gave him. Go ahead, Wack.
Check it out. That's where that cooperation agreement comes in at. That's why it says any and all situations. He gotta cooperate, because ain't no way you having sex with a 14-year-old, you having sex with a 17-year-old, you transporting them for a 2-month time frame, you put them on the website, they got all this shit, and they dropping any of them counts, unless you gave them something.
Get into his plea agreement.
This is Dmarcus Ward, aka D1, aka Boss. He's from Louisiana, but by way of Atlanta, and transport minors for sex to Alabama. This is Jay Prince family. He called him his goons, one of his right hands. I guess he put on me to antagonize me. I figured out who he was. We ran his and found out he was a sex offender. So we running the content. Let's keep it going.
United States District Court, Northern District of Georgia, Atlanta Division. USA versus Ward, Honorable William S. Duffy Jr. Minute sheet for proceedings held in open court on November 30th, 2010. Guilty plea and plea agreement. The defendant, his counsel, and the United States Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia, as counsel for the United States, subject to approval by the court, have agreed upon a negotiated plea in this case, the terms of which as follows. Dismissal of counts. Remember, he's charged with 4 counts. 2 counts with sex trafficking of a minor, 2 counts of transportation of a minor. The first 2 counts carry a maximum of life. The last 2 counts carry a maximum of 10 years. Just for reference. The government agrees that upon the entry of the judgment and commitment order, any and all remaining counts in the above style case still pending against the defendant shall be dismissed pursuant to the standing order of this court. No additional charges. The United States Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia agrees not to bring further criminal charges against the defendant related to the charges to which he is pleading guilty. Factual basis. The parties agree that if this case went to trial, the government would prove by admissible evidence and beyond reasonable doubt that in or about early October 2009, defendant Ward persuaded, induced, and enticed JF to travel and drove JF, a young girl he then knew to be a minor under the age of 18, from Georgia to Alabama for the purposes of causing her to engage in commercial sex acts with others. Ward used a computer and an interactive computer service to post JF's photos and solicit customers for commercial sex acts. Acceptance of responsibility. The government will recommend that the defendant receive a 2-level adjustment for acceptance of responsibility pursuant to Section 3 Echo 1.1 of the Sentencing Guidelines, and the additional 1-level adjustment if the offense is 16 or higher. However, the government would not be required to recommend acceptance of responsibility if after entering his plea, the defendant engaged in conduct inconsistent with accepting responsibility. Thus, by way of example, only should the defendant falsely deny or falsely attempt to minimize defendant's involvement in relevant offenses, give conflicting statements about his involvement, fail to pay the special assessment, or fail to meet any of the obligations set forth in the financial cooperation agreement. Page 7, cooperation. General requirements. This is in his plea agreement. The defendant agrees to cooperate truthfully and completely with the government, including being debriefed and providing truthful testimony at any proceeding resulting from or related to defendant's cooperation. Defendant agrees to so cooperate in any investigation or proceeding as requested by the government. Defendant agrees to so cooperate in any investigation or proceeding as requested by the government.
There it go, right there.
Defendant agrees that defendant's cooperation shall include but not be limited to. This is his plea agreement, remember that. Producing all records, whether written, recorded, electronic, or machine readable, in his actual or constructive possession, custody, or control of evidentiary value or requested by attorneys and agents of the government. Making himself available for interviews, not at the expense of the government, if he is on bond, upon a request of attorneys and agents of the government. Responding fully and truthfully to all inquiries of the government in connection with any investigation or proceeding, without falsely implicating any person or intentionally withholding any information subject to the penalty of making false statements, obstruction of justice, and related offenses. So he can't even lie to them. Can't even lie to them. When called upon to do so by the government in connection with any investigation or proceeding, testifying in grand jury trial and other judicial proceedings, fully, truthfully, and under oath, subject to the penalties of perjury, making false statements or declarations in grand jury or court proceedings. The defendant understands that the government alone will determine what forms of cooperation to request from the defendant, and the defendant agrees that the defendant will not engage in any investigation that is not specifically authorized by the government. I'm going to read that one more time. The defendant understands that the government alone will determine what forms of cooperation to request from the defendant, and the defendant agrees that the defendant will not engage in any investigation that is not specifically authorized by the government. Pursuant to Section 1 Bravo 1.8 of the Sentencing Guidelines, the government agrees that any self-incriminating information that was previously unknown to the government is provided to the government by the defendant in connection with defendant's cooperation, and as a result of this plea agreement, will not be used in determining the applicable sentencing guideline range. I'm going to read that to you one more time. Hopefully you caught that. Pursuant to Section 1 Bravo 1.8 of the Sentencing Guidelines, the government agrees that any self-incriminating information that was previously unknown to the government and is provided to the government by the defendant in connection with the defendant's cooperation, and as a result of this plea agreement, will not be used in determining the applicable sentencing guideline range. Although such information may be disclosed to the probation office and the court. The government also agrees not to bring additional charges against the defendant, with the exception of charges resulting from or related to violent criminal activity, based on any information provided by the defendant in connection with cooperation that was not known to the government prior to the cooperation. However, if the government determines that the defendant has not been completely truthful and candid in his cooperation with the government, he may be subject to the prosecution for perjury, false statements, obstruction of justice, and any other appropriate charge. And any and all information defendant has provided may be used against defendant in such a prosecution. Sentencing recommendation. And then we're done. The defendant agrees that his cooperation has already been taken into consideration by the government's agreement to resolve this case by allowing defendant to plead guilty to the offense set out in count 4 of the indictment, and by agreeing to dismiss the remaining counts of the indictment. Defendant will not receive any further reduction for his cooperation pursuant to USSG 5K1.1 or 18 USC 3553. The parties agree that appropriate guideline range in this case after the 3-level reduction for acceptance of responsibility is level 27, which is 70 to 87 months of imprisonment based on defendant's additional conduct with the victim AJ. If the court does not find a 2-level multiple count adjustment, the parties agree to a 2-level upward variance and that an appropriate sentence is 108 months. It's insane. Should the court find that the advisory sentencing guideline range exceed the combined statutory maximum sentence for all counts of conviction, the defendant agrees that the statutory maximum sentence shall be the guideline sentence and a reasonable sentence under 18 USC. The defendant agrees that he will not seek a USSG 5K2 departure or a variance for a sentence below 108 months. The government agrees to recommend 5 years of supervised release. Remember when he said he don't know what he signed, y'all? He don't know what he signed?
He definitely knew.
So here's his statement. I have read the indictment against me, and I have discussed it with my attorney. I understand the charges and the elements of each charge, and that the government would have to prove to convict me at the trial. I have read the foregoing plea agreement and have carefully reviewed every part of it with my attorney. I understand the terms and conditions contained in the plea agreement, and I voluntarily agree to them. Get out of here, bro. He's a 14-year-old, bro. Like, who worse, the government or him? They both in violation.
Who was that came in here?
That was L.
Who?
Ebony.
L?
Ebony.
What you mean?
Oh. I thought you said L. No, I heard you say she'll be back. I didn't know y'all was coming up.
Oh no, I was talking about like where are the parents at? Like, are they actively looking for these kids that are out here? You know, just.
No, they should be grown by now. But I was obvious they didn't know what it was at. Anytime. Okay, Ebony, listen, you lived in Atlanta. Can you imagine your 14-year-old, 17-year-old is in Alabama back and forth for 2 months?
Hell no.
Like, are you not think about it? Like, you ain't that much time in the day where you ain't gonna miss that your kids. What is my kid?
Bro, you ain't see that interview?
Right.
Girl did.
Who?
The interview old girl did with her daughter beside her.
I'm the one brought y'all the content. Have you seen what been coming out?
Dude, this shit.
You seen the little damn homies interview?
Oh yeah, he said that shit.
You didn't hear what they said? Yeah, that bitch Dobo and that mama's the one lined up. Now, the problem we be see, I think what it is because, respectfully, I think the streets is dumb as a motherfucker. So when I'm sitting here looking at what's going on, it's like a coloring book. So I'm like, okay, 14-year-old, this over there in the Hoovers, her daughter on the host store probably on Fig. And I'm knowing that the police just can't put a minor out there. They have to get the parents' consent, right? I know she got 3 kids by Snoopy Badass, right? She's scared to lose them kids because he be trying to get them. So I know they done caught that little girl out there, went to the mama. You heard the interview of what the girl said, who taught her this shit, where she get it from. Squeezed on the mama, we gonna take all your kids, or you can assist us with giving us consent to wire her up to get these, while the mama's over there with these, like she cool with them. We ran the content a week or so ago. I think I went to sleep on this by the time it was over. The R&B might have took over. 4-5 days after that, from Hoover, the homie from Blackstone told me Nova is the one lined everybody up, her and the mama. They better get them over here, right? Now here go the crazy part. Can't nobody come out and attack the little girl and the mama because all you is bad because y'all are minors.
Right.
Facts.
Right? You can't really, you could just be like, all right, well, shit, we see what it is. But now the mama know she didn't cross too many months out greater LA. I'm pretty sure she probably told him, when this shit happened, y'all gonna have to put her somewhere. I'm waiting to see this the same broad y'all be seeing popping up on No Jumper News.
But look at this, Wack. Now it all makes sense. This all coming full circle. You remember a few months ago, she just up and left and came over here to New York, living in a shelter.
Yep.
For months, bro. For months. Why would you just leave LA and just go over here to live in a shelter?
I believe she left the little girl over here though.
She did, but the reason, I think she was saying, like, I looked at one of her videos and she said the initial reason she came to New York was to chase that little girl because the little girl had made her way over here.
Yep. So, and what's crazy is it's called a Wack. Bro, all of them is bad. This is minors. Nobody could pursue or press no lines about the little girl telling, or even the mama. Even though the mama's out here doing what she's doing, whatever y'all do, what y'all do. But overall, can't bat an eye or say nothing slightful.
Can't even assist you.
Can't, yeah.
Bro. And
all you is bad already.
He gonna get canceled because the way he sound in that interview, he sound like he harboring PDF files, bro.
Bro, not only that, issue the threat.
Fact.
He threatened the witnesses and the minor. I was in the chat and damn homies told him, Wack is saying you better slow down. I told him. She told him. Kept going. I said, Dad, I said, bro, you better slow down. He said, yeah, that over there, mama better get the hood. They better not get caught over here. They the ones lined the homies up. I said, oh, you doing too much.
Bro, they need a charge and they need a DP. That nigga need both of them shits, bro. Cause that nigga, bro,
you can't do it,
saying
bro.
He stands for that shit, bro. That's what he's saying,
like
bro.
y'all, listen, Crip, Blood, or whatever, Lavish, all of them is bad. Now let me tell you why that makes that dangerous. If they all sitting in the feds and they knowing we can't walk no yard because we got sex crimes on minors, what's stopping them from just going all the way? I might as well start telling now to get less time. What difference do it make?
It don't make no
difference. They paperwork can't stand up. If they kept it gangster, they paperwork cannot stand.
I don't want to laugh, but you right. They don't got no out.
It ain't no out, laugh.
That shit bad.
It ain't no out. I hate to say it, but they paperwork says y'all can't walk no yards. You're bad already. So I haven't heard anything of level 1 bad, level 2 bad. Bad is bad, right, lad? Bad is bad.
That's a fact.
So this is why I'm saying this arrest of 10 or 11 people gonna lead to about 30 more arrests. Because these is finna see 20 years and I'm bad at that. I can get this shit down to 5, 8, 10. What I gotta give y'all? What's gonna stop them from not telling on everything they know?
And let's just be 1,000, Wack. Check this out, right? If we being all the way honest, bro, if any of them niggas logical and got a logical way of thinking, the thing that make the most sense is to tell, since you already got these bad charges, bro.
Listen, when you enter that arena, even if once I kept it gangster, I didn't tell, they still go over you minors.
Right, you still a PDF file, bro. I'd rather be a rat than a PDF file, bro. Any day, bro. Give me the rat jacket.
It's stuck. You committing crimes that you can't go to jail for.
Now check this out, Wack. Now, hey, the nigga cooperate, right? If that cooperate and give them enough, bro, he could probably get it where they take the charge for the minor off. That's one of the charges he might just get off if he cooperate enough, bro. Think about it. When you cooperate, they do take off some of your charges when you cooperate.
Yeah, but I think he had more than one, and he promoted on Instagram. He taking all applications, and they got him on video. They recorded him. Might have been the little girl whooping on one of them for, choosing the other pimp.
Oh, so that was a little girl too?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Remember they said he busted her in the mouth. She had on braces. She had braces in her mouth.
Yep, she did. She still do, don't she?
Yeah, I talked to Snoopy Badass. He got 3 kids by the. That's the one be on No Jumper, bro. That's the one be on No Jumper.
That shit. Man.
Remember a couple weeks ago, Adam called her while I was on there with her. I'm like, what's your problem with me? That's her. Yeah. Snoopy said, bro, the little girl got braces in her mouth. He said, that's her. He said, come on, bro. Ain't no they gonna be out there on Fig with braces in their mouth. 14, that's her.
Oh, that's the female that he randomly called that day? And you was like,
yeah,
what's your issue? And she was like, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's her. And that's the one that was on the news when Snoopy called in talking crazy. Said, always got my name in your mouth. He got 3 kids, but
Is the prostitute girl, is that his daughter too?
No, that ain't his daughter. She got 6 kids total. She like 37, 38. That one ain't his. He got 3.
He
got one from a nigga from Blackstone, one from a nigga from Hoover. The newest one is a nigga from Hoover. That's why she was over there. 4, 5. And then the oldest one, somebody else. The nigga from Hoover don't even claim the kid though. That's what probably pissed her off. Snoopy said she real vindictive. He said that's what probably pissed her off and sent her into the lineup.
Yeah, I can tell that addictor. She the type of that'll make up a lie on, and that's what type he is, bro.
Clubhouse TV. Clubhouse TV. Clubhouse TV.
What's going down, YouTube? Clubhouse TV. Back with another one, man. Y'all heard the content, man. So let's get into it now. Things got heated on Clubhouse when Wack 100 and the Xposers, Prince, and Ghost dropped some major receipts on Dmarcus Ward. Now, this wasn't no random internet rumor either. They actually pulled out the paperwork and read it live on Clubhouse in front of everybody. Now, if you know how Clubhouse works, once the paperwork comes out, there's no more hiding, no more slick talking, and no more excuses. Wack, along with Prince and Ghost, broke down line by line what was in those documents. And the crazy part, they weren't just reading it for shock value. They were exposing exactly what had been kept under wraps about Dmarcus Ward's past. You could hear the reaction in the room. People were stunned. Some folks were quiet, and others were trying to defend him. But once Wack started pressing the issue, the energy shifted. Wack wasn't letting up either. He made it clear that once you got paperwork, it's official, and there's no running away from that. The Xposers added fuel to the fire, backing it up with their own commentary, making sure everybody listening understood exactly what the paperwork meant. They weren't sugarcoating nothing, straight, raw, and uncut. Now, this is the type of moment that changes narratives because Clubhouse isn't like IG or YouTube where you can edit or delete. Once the room hears it, it's stamped in people's memory. And you already know Wack thrives in these moments where he can corner somebody with facts and let the room decide. By the end of it, the room was completely against Dmarcus Ward. Some couldn't believe it. Some said they already suspected it. But one thing's for sure, once the paperwork is read aloud, the whole game changes. So the question is, how does Dmarcus Ward recover from this? The answer is, he can't. He's a PDF file, exposed for messing with minors and prostituting them. Totally sick. Can't even respond after being exposed like that without crying, especially with Wack and Xposers making it public. Or is his credibility gone forever? I think we know the answer to that one. And one thing we also know, this ain't the last time we're gonna hear about this. Wack made sure the world knows, and now the streets, the fans, and the industry are all talking about it. Let me know what you guys think about the content in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're always notified when I drop new content. Subscribe to the media team so you get that exclusive Wack 100 content. Any questions, suggestions, need me to advertise for you on my channel with over 40,000 subscribers, just get at me on IG and I'll get right back to you. As always, we certainly appreciate y'all for checking out Clubhouse TV. We on to the next one. Peace.